I'm not gonna kill you, but I am gonna rant at you. Really, really bad. I'm Jake R, and these are my 4 Rs. So, I'll be honest, guys, for this show I'm trying to find subjects that are deep and allow me to wax intellectual and sound like a smarty smart, but I just haven't been able to sit down and really write them. However, with all the superhero news coming out of Comic-Con and all the geek movie sites restructuring the timelines of upcoming comic book movies, I found that I've had a lot to say on those, and last time I promised you guys that I would give you my honest thoughts on what interested me, so here we go. Let's just sit down and talk about comic book movies like a bunch of fucking nerds. We'll get to the smarty smart stuff next time.
You fucking nerd with your nerd hair.
Nerd!
Get those nerds! Nerd! Nerd!
So, Marvel basically skipped out on Comic-Con this year. We can attribute this to the fact that after that bombshell event they had months ago where they laid out their plans for Phase 3, there's nothing really else that big to show. Sure, they could have cobbled something of a teaser for Civil War, but they're still in the process of shooting, and it's Marvel, so we know what we're getting into with that. So with Marvel Studios out of the picture, it was DC and Fox's time to shine. And boy did they deliver, somewhat. Starting with DC, the biggest reveal was a brand new trailer for Batman v Superman. Seriously, a group of adults got together in a room and thought Dawn of Justice was an acceptable subtitle for their multi-million-dollar make-or-break tentpole. So what did I think? Oh my god, Becky, this trailer is so awesome, you guys!
What?
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
You are dead to me. Nothing but scum. When I look in your eyes, I get inflammation of the bum. You make me feel putrid. I hate the way.
Like, I know everyone's been giving it shit about how grim and gritty it is, and believe me, I've been there before, but I'm sorry, people, this just looks amazing. It feels like, to me, that Zack Snyder's finally ridding himself of the sterile Christopher Nolan affectation that crippled Man of Steel, and now he's cutting loose with a comic book movie that feels like his own. Does it suck that DC seems to be defining itself solely by darkness and grimness? Yes, but bear in mind, the DC Cinematic Universe only has one film out so far, and if the idea is true that DC intends to distinguish itself from Marvel by being more quote-unquote auteur-driven than the MCU is thought of as, I expect movies like Wonder Woman, The Flash, Green Lantern Corps, and that Ben Affleck written and directed Batman movie to have a very different feel from what Zack Snyder's been offering. But so far with Dawn of Justice, I am nothing but pumped. Superman looks great, Batman looks better than he ever has in film, and Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman just looks amazing. Seriously, Warners, get more footage of her out soon. Moving over to another big entry in the DCU, or rather DCCU, which I guess I'm calling it now. Not sure it has the same ring as MCU. Warner's also released a trailer for Suicide Squad. And unlike Batman vs. Superman's trailer, which was pure awesome, the trailer for Suicide Squad is hot garbage. I realize I seem rather contrarian, seeing as how most people were rather cold on Dawn of Justice's trailer while really liking Suicide Squad's, but I'm sorry, this one just didn't do it for me. The tone is way too self-serious, bordering on goofy. It's just off-putting for me. And yet, I'm still pumped for this movie. Why? Oh my god, that last shot.
I'm just gonna hurt you. Really, really bad.
Yeah, let's talk about him. I'll be honest, guys, I didn't really have a problem with the look of Jared Leto's Joker when it was first revealed. Yes, it looks kinda silly, but let's be real, guys. What we've come to expect the Joker to look like is silly. He's a clown. Clown. Now, obviously, that's not the only reason people are ambivalent to this new design. Some are turned off by the juggalo thug aesthetic, but seeing as how Suicide Squad appears to have its whole style built around trashy Halloween costume versions of these characters, it's honestly kind of fitting. And we've already got a Joker who looks like he does from the comics out of Jack Nicholson, and when you're doing an iconic character like that, you've got to stand out from the pack. Aesthetic aside, Leto's utterance of his one line at the end of the trailer is what's got me completely sold on this film. Even if he doesn't look like the traditional Joker, Leto fills me with the hope that we'll get an actual cinematic version of this character. Not Jack Nicholson playing Jack Nicholson or Heath Ledger playing a deranged philosophy major, but the actual deranged, twisted Joker from modern comics who just loves inflicting harm and causing misery. Not for personal reasons or because he wants to prove some vague notion about order and chaos, but because he's so damn sick in the head. I have faith in you, Leto. Make me proud. So those were the big DC reveals. Moving over to Fox, many would say that they won Comic-Con with the reveal of the Deadpool trailer. And really, if you already saw the trailer leak before Fox took them down, I really have nothing to add. This trailer was bonkers and amazing, and this film should be a total blast. There was also a final trailer for Fantastic Four, and a brand new trailer for X-Men Apocalypse. The Fantastic Four trailer is yet to leak, though really who the hell cares about that? Apocalypse, meanwhile? Meh. Ugh. I'll get to that one later, but I actually do have something to say on Deadpool that I find really interesting. The release date. As I make this video, Deadpool is scheduled to be released on February 12, 2016. February. That's traditionally a dead zone for action films, let alone big-budget superhero movies. True, Fox made money in February of this year with Kingsman, but that wasn't really a runaway smash hit, what with this shit being out at the same time. And I don't think Fox really expected it to. Deadpool, however, is a movie I would imagine they want to open at number 1 and then some. Remember, Fox has high stake in the success of these movies. The recent collapse of Sony's Spider-Man empire that's leading now to the character's introduction to the MCU has probably shown Fox that their undisputed hold on the mutants and Fantastic Four isn't going to remain unchallenged for long. They're likely depending on Fantastic Four and especially Deadpool to keep fans invested in their films enough to make Apocalypse and Wolverine 3 big enough successes to justify holding on to their licenses. Because otherwise, if these movies underperform, Phase 4 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe could very well culminate in seeing if Wolverine's claws can cut Captain America's shield, or Magneto overpowering Iron Man's suit, or the Avengers storming Latveria. So with so much riding on Deadpool, why stick it in February? I've got two theories. A, Fox is deliberately promoting this movie as an offbeat comedic parody rather than a straight-up superhero action movie, and can serve as a palate cleanser for people likely weary of superheroics played straight. Or B, they're under the impression that the rest of the year is totally overcrowded, and this was the only time Deadpool could hope to find buzz without being drowned out by the competition. But that's crazy. I mean, what else in 2016 is coming out? Oh my god. Yikes. You know, I'm not part of the there's too many comic book movies crowd, but yeah, I'm looking at 2016 through 2018 and I'm thinking, that's a lot. And there's more if you add the upcoming seasons of Daredevil, Jessica Jones, and Luke Cage on Netflix. Plus, DC's TV universe doesn't seem to be slowing down anytime soon with upcoming seasons of Flash, Arrow, Supergirl, and Legends of Tomorrow. I mean, yeah, Fantastic Four 2 likely won't happen, and granted, this is only a handful of films and TV shows in the grand scheme, but given how superhero movies are reported on and talked about, it does seem like they do control the narrative of film discussion. Unless a woman runs in heels, in which case we can't shut up about a dinosaur movie. But anyway, given how many movies in this genre are coming out, some of them are bound to be stinkers either critically, commercially, or both. Law of averages, you know? So far, I don't expect any of Marvel's upcoming projects to be duds. Even if you loathe the Marvel machine, you have to concede that their assembly line films are competently executed enough to where, even if they're not great, they're good enough to keep people happy and make enough money to justify further perpetuation. So don't expect Civil War, Doctor Strange, or Guardians 2 to sink this ship. Dawn of Justice is going to make serious bank, regardless of whether or not it's quality. Yes, Man of Steel was a bit of a letdown domestically, but if there's one thing that's certain, Americans love themselves the goddamn Batman, and they will go to this movie just for him. That's also why Suicide Squad will be a big hit. It has the Joker. End of story. No, the studio I'd be worried about is Fox. Deadpool will do fine, but Apocalypse is going to be their big put-up-or-shut-up moment in the modern superhero movie landscape. It doesn't have Patrick Stewart or Ian McKellen, and Hugh Jackman is believed to only be making a cameo. This movie is a test to see if they can maintain the goodwill that Days of Future Past won back after many years of misfortune, as well as move forward with new characters and obstacles. And I'm just not seeing it happen. Aside from being way too close in proximity to Civil War, Apocalypse, like the rest of the X-Men movies, just have the general air of pointless to them. This has been looming for a while, but it's only been exacerbated with Days of Future Past, which, while a really good movie, brought with it a more insidious part of superhero comics to the table: story-induced retcons. Like it or not, Days of Future Past exists solely to clean house and rid the franchise of the baggage of previous films without doing a full-on reboot. And rather than move forward with a new generation, they're doing a prequel movie set in the 80s explaining how the old generation got together in this new timeline because, well, they got Jennifer Lawrence and Michael Fassbender for one more movie, might as well use them! Like I said, it just feels pointless, and while not nearly as egregious as Sony's embarrassing attempt to hold on to their character, you get the sense that Fox is straining to think of things to do with this movie series that, frankly, they don't seem all that interested in doing with if Hugh Jackman's not involved. Maybe after Wolverine 3 and Jackman's departure, they really will just pack it in and give up the rights.
You serious?
Like Sony, they'll probably demand joint custody so that they can make bank off Deadpool meets the Avengers, but a man can dream, can he? Oh, and as for Gambit, that's gonna be a dud. Why the hell would you make a Gambit movie? Seriously, someone clue me in. Channing Tatum, are you really gonna tell me that you don't have better use of your time or talent? And yeah, I know you're gonna make the argument, well, Marvel made hits out of Iron Man, Thor, and Guardians of the Galaxy. Well, sure, whatever, but it's fucking Gambit! Gambit! Just... why? It's fucking Gambit! Just, Jesus! Gambit! Why? So those are my thoughts on the current superhero movie climate. Next time we'll get into something a little more deep thoughty. Thanks for watching. Fucking Gambit! Why?